Well, guys, we do have more big Titan stuff coming out. This was one of the things that I was waiting for, a full aerial map of the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, a map showing the Titan debris field in relation to the Titanic shipwreck was partially created by one of the sub's victims. Wow, so here it is. You can see the Titanic bow segment and where the Titan debris field is located. It really is remarkable looking at this. It would have been nice if they would have zoomed it out even further to show us Titanic's stern as well, just to kind of scale it properly. But you can see located, at least in this photo, northeast of where the main Titanic bow segment was. And of course, when it came to the exploration of the Titanic, that's where Titan was headed, to explore the bow section of the ship. A lot of us speculating early on. You know, I'll be honest, I did come out and say in my first video, I think it imploded. I don't want to give myself credit. I did do that, and then I did do some clickbait stuff. I'll be honest, I asked the question, did Titan get stuck in the Titanic? That's really not possible, considering how big Titan is. They're not going to go inside of the Titanic. It would have to be a crazy situation for that to happen. But there is the debris field. Also, another thing a lot of people were pondering, what if the debris from Titan after the implosion nailed the bow of the Titanic? And it was kind of close, but it didn't end up hitting it. If it did, I do think the Titanic would have been damaged, because at this point, the Titanic is in such a weak, feeble position, because at this point, the Titanic is in such a weak, feeble position, people would get really angry if that would have happened. I think it's all anecdotal, because what I think is going to happen with the Titanic, it'll eventually collapse in on itself, and we'll be able to recover bigger pieces. That's probably not going to happen until 2030. And of course, with this entire Titan situation happening, there's not going to be any dives down to the Titanic for at least 3 or 4 years, just on the basis of public opinion, stricter regulations. There's very few subs that can even go down there anyways. If you look at the history of the submersibles that visited the Titanic, this is not an every month thing. Some of the times it's not even an every year thing. The Titan is really the first one that was mainly centered around making money off of tourists spending money like Titanic fanatics to go down there. So it's a very rare situation anyways, but that is just kind of the debris field. Pretty remarkable stuff. But that is just kind of the map that details how close the OceanGate submersible was to the Titanic shipwreck. The company that owns the rights to the Titanic shipwreck and its sunken relics released a map in court documents filed Saturday that shows where the search crews discovered the remains of the lost Titan. That is just kind of some backstory on how that came to light. And then we do have how a bogus lawsuit led to the Titan sub tragedy. Grim diet passengers had to follow before traveling on Titan sub that imploded. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you go on something like the Titan, I would not be eating 24 hours. I would go on like a whole day fast before I went on Titan. I mean, they had a toilet on Titan, but that's not a thing where you want to be eating a Chipotle burrito before you go on that thing. Imagine that smell. How do you know? Every passenger should honestly be on a 24-hour fast, or maybe just a very, very little snack and take some type of digestion aid. That would be my recommendation if you were doing something. Yeah, but I mean, obviously they're going to be on a really strict diet with the situation. It's in a very enclosed space. You really can't afford a big bathroom situation, if you know what I'm talking about. And then we do have a fact check on, was the Titan sub's text message transcript or log released? So it says right now it is unproven. In early July 2023, TikTok and YouTube users published videos promoting what they refer to as a transcript or log of the final text message communication from the OceanGate Titan submersible. I would say there's a 0.01% chance this is real. When you look at the transcript, okay, so I'm going to try and outline everything. I'm going to try and give everyone kind of the big aerial ballpark view of the whole transcript situation. So you've got this thing released, TikTok and YouTube, they pick up on it. Originally, I didn't even know about this thing until a week later, and then I covered it in a video and said, yeah, it's probably fake. But everyone picks up on it, everyone sees it. There's a submersible expert that comes out and says it seems realistic that it could possibly be real, but then you had other people talking about the actual code that the Titan submersible used to communicate with the mothership, to where it was only letters, and in the transcript it was full words, there was more communication. Typically when you're talking about a submersible, you're updating every 15-20 minutes when you're going down to confirm, that everything's good on the ship, but you're using as little in terms of communication as possible. There's been different disputed claims on if, Titan would be following that code or not. There's people that have released photos that have gone down on Titan in 2021 and 2022 that shows the code of the type of, communications that they would use to communicate with the mothership, and it does not match with the transcript. And really, I think the biggest factor in this whole thing, we've gotten no leaks, because when you think about it, the US Navy thing, that was completely false, where they heard noise, the knocking was completely false, and we're supposed to believe that we receive a transcript of what went wrong on Titan. The big speculation with Titan right now, I would say, we all know it imploded. We're pretty confident it was the carbon fiber hull. Maybe it was an electrical failure. That's kind of a debate there. The bigger thing at this point is, did Stockton Rush and the Titan passengers, did they know that there was something catastrophically wrong, or was it a complete blindside? Were they trying to go back to the surface? James Cameron said that days after, and other submersible experts have said that. There's also the theory that they plunged uncontrollably down before they imploded due to an electrical failure. That's what we're all trying to find out. The transcript thing, to me, while it does look professional, I'll give them credit. Whoever, maybe they created it using ChatGPT. No, I mean, listen, they do look professional, and other submersible experts have said, yeah, that looks real, that looks legit. There's some YouTube videos where experts say it does look real, but it's almost like it's too good to be true, like it's a Hollywood drama on the transcript. It would be crazy if they did verify and come out and say it was true, but at this point, based on virtually every single leak being fake, how would a transcript get leaked, days after the event? It just seems very, very unlikely. I'm sure eventually it'll all come to the surface, but right now, we are in the dark on that. So guys, I just wanted to show everyone and give perspective of the recent big time photo we had released, the aerial shot, just how close the Titan was, and bigger pieces of the Titan, because remember, when it imploded, everyone kind of thought, or at least a lot of us thought, it would be extremely small pieces. There were very big pieces that were hurling down, but they did miss the Titanic. It is relatively close to it, as you can see from those photos. Also a remarkable job, by the recovery team to go that deep and recover the Titan submersible debris as quickly as they did. It's extremely hard at those depths to do that. I think that puts into perspective, and I'm not trying to turn this into, let's save the Titanic, but we have the technology now to where if the Titanic does fall apart, we can take some of the pieces up, it seems, very easily. I mean, those were big pieces on Titan. I read somewhere that the entire search effort cost $1.6 million. So from Sunday to Thursday, Thursday they find it, they say, no, it imploded. But when they were searching throughout those 4 days, apparently it cost $1.6 million. I'll be honest, that seems like a really low number for all of the stuff they had, all the Coast Guard, all the resources they had out there. $1.6 million for a full-fledged search where they were sending things to the ocean. I don't know, but apparently that's what it cost them. And of course, I'm learning some interesting things about the whole US Navy situation. Really, all I can say on that's a completely airtight situation, and it's very complex, and I don't think it's a thing to where the Navy knew and they didn't tell. I think there's a big time protocol that goes into that information being released, and there's simply no way they were going to release that or reveal it at this point, in my opinion. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.